Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of Profit in Your PJs. I am Anna Camp, and I have the great pleasure of hanging out with you guys for the next 30 minutes. I've missed you. I've been traveling, as you guys know. First and foremost, special thank you to Jill Chisholm. Wow, what an amazing Zoom she did last week. If you missed it, you want to definitely go to my YouTube channel, which is Anna Camp, and take a peek at last week's. It was really, really amazing. I know it got me fired up. So thanks so much, Jill, for that. We do this every single Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Profit in Your PJs. This is a great time to come together, get some training tips, get some announcements, and all stay together as an amazing community here. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I want to get into some content this morning. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do that, because that way, if you miss one of these, you will get a notification every time we put up a brand new training. So I am so excited. This has been the last, oh my gosh, 2 weeks of my life have been an incredible whirlwind. I started in Dallas, where we had the launch, the live stream, live audience launch. The energy was palpable. Everybody was excited. Wow, if you missed that, go back. You can see it on Miriam University from, I believe, last week, not last night, but last week, and really get to see what we are up to here. I think everybody on this Zoom, I saw your smiling faces, has been really front and center for all of this. I know I saw some of you there, but to hear Jeff Olson speak, and to really hear from a lot of the leaders from around the country, and the vision for the future and the undertaking of what it took, not only to rebrand and rename a company, but also to change a compensation plan simultaneously. So pretty exciting stuff. I left there and flew into the Boston area up in New England, and boy, did they keep me busy. Lots of RRPs, lots of some time to do some sit downs, training, regional training. And the energy there, wow, I think it was one of the biggest regionals they've had. And I was so excited to be part of it, but to see everybody, to hug everybody. And really what I want you guys to see is the vision for yourselves, because some of you may not want to travel at all, and that's okay. That's what Zoom's for. But some of you do, and to just know the domino effect that's coming for you, just like it did for me and so many of the other leaders that I see on here that now have teams that have stretched not only throughout the US, but also throughout Europe as well, and of course Asia and all of the countries that we're in. By the way, I had to Google this the other day, there are 194 countries. We are only in 13 or 14 of them, guys, so the world is your oyster. It is wide open. Set your dream and your vision to wherever it is that you want to go, because I'm just sure that in time we will definitely be there. So just some quick announcements before we get into the training. This was in the regional slides. I really want to read this because I got to tell you, it gave me goosebumps. Neora, we are just a few days away from the launch of our brand new company, a new era, looking, feeling, and living better. A modern reimagining of the best brand, an advanced, I have to move my screen out of the way here, guys. There we go, an advanced optimization of quality, proficiency, passion, and heart that sets our products, opportunity, and commitment to personal growth and philanthropy apart from and far above all others. This is our mission statement, and I don't know about you, but I am proud to be part of our new company, Neora. We had an opportunity to become founders of our new company. That opportunity is to buy a founder's pack, or a founder's toolkit, is available only for a few more days. I believe 9 days here, or actually less than that, because we have a short month this month. We have about another week or so to do this. So if you want to take advantage of this, I just got home and I got mine. Mine was sitting home waiting for me, and I opened it last night, and it was like Christmas. So many people have been saying, well, what do I do? How do I get new product? Everything I have right now is Miriam. I want the opportunity to have not only product, but some tools that I can use that are branded with Neora. Sorry, tongue twister. That are branded with Neora. So now's your chance to do that. You have access to promotions and perks, trip volume, commemorative gold pin. We have all kinds of things. It's just chocked full, but recognition in the first edition. But you guys, the thing I love the most about it is I did not get to be a founding brand partner, a founder of Miriam. I have a chance now to be a founder of this company. And of course, if you don't buy the platinum pack or the gold pack, it's okay, because you can still become a founder by enrolling 3 brand partners in the year of 2019. You just get to be a founder now. I'm kind of a right now girl. So if you want to get one of these packs, make sure that you do it, because the deadline is at the end of the month. Also, sorry, January does have 31 days. I was already ahead to February. I don't know what I was thinking there. Blonde moment. We are also really working toward this. The class of 2019, some of you, actually a lot of you already have your 9 customers, and some of you have a lot more than that. But if you don't, this is definitely something to work for next month. We're going to have some of the top leaders and actually some people that are even just top recruiters or top customer getters share their quick tips. So we're going to be putting up a new Facebook page. You will be able to be part of this page if you have your 9 customers in January. You're going to get snippets. You're going to get some sneak peek information early that those of us that are national marketing directors get. So you're going to get a lot of perks, but most of all, just quick training just a couple minutes. It's going to be up to maybe 5 minutes every single day, tips that you can use in your business. So first look announcements, encouragement and accountability, and next level tips on how to make more money in 2019. We are here as business owners, and we're all working to do that. So also, you guys have been asking, the winner of the free airfare to Nashville will be announced next week. If you have not got your tickets to Get Real, you want to do that. The company also put a promotion in place. I want to highlight this. So for every personal brand partner that you get signed up for Nashville, you will get a ticket in the drawing. And in Nashville, more brand partners you help get signed up. You're personally sponsored. More tickets you will get in the drawing. More tickets you get in the drawing, the more chances you have to win level 1 of the new trip that's not even announced yet. So in Nashville, somebody is going to win. Somebody's going to earn that trip for free just by getting their ticket pulled out of the drawing. So let's go. This is go time. We are not that far away from Nashville, guys. I want to have the biggest, baddest team there. We all know, those of us that have been there, how many times have you said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had 10 more people here. So I want to move into quickly the next portion. I have to stop my share and go back and reshare, because I want to make sure that the volume is happening here, because this next segment that I want to train on is something that I'm always working on self-development, and this is pretty big for me, guys. When I was thinking about what are the 3 books that I would recommend to somebody to get started in their business, the #1 book is The Slight Edge. This really does give us absolutely the slight edge in our business. And it really helps to focus on those little things every single day that, compounded over time, make all the difference in the world. Just like a hamburger doesn't make any difference today, over time it does. Definitely changes your health when you do that. Go Pro, one of the best books I've ever read for this industry, to help really develop your belief in the industry, but also to help you to go professional in the network marketing industry. It is a wealth of knowledge. Eric Worre is amazing. It is a top recommendation for anybody who wants to be serious about their network marketing business. But the magic of thinking big, I have read twice. I actually listened to it on the way home from Boston on the plane, start to finish. It was a nice long flight, and it was a reminder of how great this is. And I really believe that I'm actually going to play the audio for you guys. I think it's about 13 minutes, but it's very, very powerful. And I honestly believe that this is the one thing that stops everyone in their business. And I want to help you guys, and I want to inoculate you from this next segment. So let me go ahead and play this for you guys. buckle in, take some notes. This is going to cover a couple of different things that really prevent us from being very, very, very successful in this business. And so as this is playing, think about yourself, maybe think about what if you have one of these things. And it also not only talks about these things, but it talks about how to annihilate these things and get them out of your life so that you can move on and be really, really successful. So enjoy.
Now, one of the first attributes I think you'll consistently notice among unsuccessful people is a disease that is one of the biggest enemies of success. I call this disease excuse-itis. Here's what excuse-itis sounds like.
I don't know if I can do this job. I mean, this is really out of my league. I'm not a genius, you know.
Well, I'd like to take on more of the work that would really be important to me, but I really don't see where I have the time to do it. I'm really rushed now just to finish the work that I already have. I can't imagine how I would find more hours in the day to finish more work.
You know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and believe me, this old dog is just too far along to start anything new at this point.
Look, with my health the way it is, I just do what I can to get by. I'm not about to press my luck and give myself a heart attack.
Sounds pretty awful, doesn't it? And if you looked at the lives, ambitions, and accomplishments of these people, I can tell you what you'd find. Not much. A lot of mediocrity. In case after case, excuse-itis is the difference between the person who is going places and the person who is going nowhere. You'll find that the more successful a person is, the less that person makes excuses for anything. Now, this disease of excuse-itis comes in several forms, and like most diseases, it gets worse if it isn't treated. A victim of this thought disease thinks like this: I'm not doing so well. What can I use as an alibi that'll help me save face? Let's see, poor health, lack of education, too old, the way my family brought me up. And each time this person uses an excuse, it becomes more deeply embedded in his subconscious. Probably when he first used the excuse, he realized it was just an alibi or a lie. But the more he uses it, the more he believes it, until he is convinced that the excuse is the real reason for his lack of progress. So right now, I want you to vaccinate yourself against excuse-itis, the disease of failure. There are a number of types of this disease, and when you listen to what follows, you'll find out how to protect yourself against each of them.
Well, I'd like to take on more of the work that would really be important to me, but I really don't see where I have the time to do it. I'm really rushed now just to finish the work that I already have. I can't imagine how I would find more hours in the day to finish more work.
First, let's deal with what may be the most common form of excuse-itis: time. You hear this one everywhere. I don't have time, or not now, I'm too busy. People who make this excuse are saying, it takes every minute I've got just to keep up, so how do you expect me to put out the extra effort it takes to get ahead? But there's a basic fallacy in this excuse, and this is it. Everybody, whether you're the president of a big company or the paper boy, everybody has exactly the same amount of time. You and I both have 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, no more, no less. The question is, what do you do with your time?
Most people spend about 51 hours a week sleeping and about 50 hours a week at work, counting commuting time. So far, that's 101 hours. On average, people spend about 15 hours a week eating, figuring 2 hours a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a few minutes here and there for snacks. That's 116 hours. Now throw in 24 hours a week for relaxing, reading, watching television, playing with the kids, making love with your spouse, and getting some exercise. That makes 140 hours. And on top of that, throw in 4 hours a week for going to church or watching a football game. That makes 144 hours. But remember, there are 168 hours in a week. So even after we've eaten, slept, worked, played, made love, and even watched a lot of television, we've still got 24 hours left over. You could watch another 6 hours of television a week and still have 18 hours unaccounted for.
So where do people get this excuse? I haven't got enough time. There is just no truth to the statement. It simply is an alibi for mediocrity, for failing to give yourself the chance to succeed. Successful people don't say, I don't have time. Successful people welcome new challenges, and they find the time to meet them. There's an old business axiom that says, if you want something done, find the busiest person you can and get them to do it. The truth in that axiom is this: a busy person, a successful person, won't hide behind an excuse. That person wants challenges, wants more business, wants that additional assignment, because a successful person knows that success is a direct product of extra effort. So, if you suffer from time excuse-itis, the cure is simple. Mind you, it's not necessarily easy, but it is simple. Here it is.
Resolve now never to say, I don't have the time, or I'm too busy. Always seek ways to accommodate new challenges in your job, or special assignments, or extra time with your family. You may find yourself slipping back into the excuse from time to time, but if you do, catch yourself. When you're about to say, I don't have time, change your mind. It often helps to budget your time, just like you might budget your money. Sit down and write out a time plan. Strive to become that busy person that people seek out for special challenges, instead of another victim of excuse-itis. Remember, everyone has the same amount of time. The difference is in how you use it.
Look, with my health the way it is, I just do what I can to get by. I'm not about to press my luck and give myself a heart attack.
Another prominent form of excuse-itis is health. This ranges all the way from the chronic, I don't feel good, to the more specific, I've got such and such wrong with me. So-called bad health, in 1,000 different forms, is used as an excuse for failing to do what a person wants to do, failing to accept greater responsibilities, failing to make more money, failing to achieve success. Millions and millions of people suffer from health problems. But is this really a legitimate excuse in most cases? Consider for a moment the other side of the coin. The people who become fabulously successful in spite of health problems and who didn't use health as an excuse.
Franklin D. Roosevelt was confined to a wheelchair much of the time by polio, but he still served nearly 4 terms as president. John F. Kennedy was hampered by severe and sometimes crippling back pain, but he never publicly complained. Itzhak Perlman, one of the world's great violinists, has to walk with the aid of crutches. Arthur Ashe, the tennis champion, had his athletic career tragically foreshortened by heart trouble, but he went on to great success in business. There are scores of successful people in every walk of life who suffer from diabetes, multiple sclerosis, and other so-called debilitating diseases, but they don't use them as excuses. The point is simply that your physical condition doesn't need to hold you back, and for most people, health is simply no excuse for lack of success. Doctors will tell you that the perfect specimen of the human animal simply doesn't exist. There's something physically wrong with everybody. Many people surrender, in whole or in part, to health excuse-itis, but successful people don't.
The more you worry about your health, the worse you're going to feel. Not only that, but the more you tell other people about your bad health problems, the worse you're going to make them feel too. You see, whenever you tell someone, I feel rotten today, or I have a headache, you're really telling them, I'm a little bit dead today. And nobody, but nobody, wants to be around a dead person. The plain truth is, there are only 2 people in the world who really want to hear you complain about your health problems. One is your doctor, and the other is your mortician. Nobody else cares. Nobody else wants to hear about your bad health. Now look at the other side. When you tell someone, I feel great, look what happens. First, you make yourself feel better. Try it right now, and you'll see what I mean. Say out loud, I feel great. Come on now, say it. I feel great. It's impossible to say that and not actually feel better. Second, you make the other person feel better when you tell them how great you feel. And third, you make them feel better toward you.
Oops.
Now, one of the first attributes I think you'll consistently
All right,
notice.
guys, hang on.
In business, there are scores of successful people in every doctor, but don't worry about it. It won't make things any better. It will just make things worse. Third, be genuinely grateful that your health is as good as it is. Remember the old saying, I felt sorry for myself because I had no shoes, until I met a man who had no feet. There's always somebody worse off than you are, so be glad for the good health that you do have, and don't dwell on your health problems. Finally, remind yourself that it's better to wear out than to rust out. Life is yours to enjoy, 24 hours a day. Don't waste it. Don't pass up living by thinking yourself into a hospital bed.
You know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and believe me, this old dog is just too far along to start anything new at this point.
Age excuse-itis is a failure disease of never being the right age to succeed. It comes in 2 forms. I'm too old, or I'm too young. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm too old to start a new career now, or I'm too young for all that responsibility? In fact, how often have you heard yourself say it? This excuse has closed the door of real opportunity to thousands of people. They think their age is somehow wrong, so they don't even bother to try. And, unfortunately, we live in a society that seems all too ready to reinforce those stereotypes. On any night, on TV, you can see old people put out to pasture and young people biting off more than they can chew. The statistics we read in the paper continually tell us how hard it is to find a job when you're 60 or when you're 19. But the fact is, for every statistic and every dramatization of these so-called problem ages, you can find real-life exceptions to the rules. Ronald Reagan was elected president just prior to his 70th birthday. Harlan Sanders was collecting Social Security checks when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. Satchel Paige was playing professional baseball well into his 50s, but he didn't talk about his age. On the other end of the age spectrum, Apple Computer was started by two young men in their 20s, and the founder of Federal Express thought up the idea for his express mail service when he was in college. So age is no barrier. It is just an excuse. If you think you're too old to change or too young to accept the challenge, here's a cure.
Look at your present age positively. Think, I'm still young, instead of, I'm too old. Remember, you're capable of handling any responsibility you believe you can handle. Second, keep this computation in mind. Most people can expect about 50 years of productive working life, from about age 20 to about age 70. If you're 30, you've still got 80% of that productive life ahead of you. If you're 40, you've still got a big 60% of your working life to go. If you're 50, you've still got 40%, at least 20 years of productivity, and that's plenty of time to succeed. Finally, invest your future time in doing what you really want to do. It's only too late when you let your mind become negative and tell you it's too late. Stop thinking, I should have started years ago, because that's failure thinking. Instead, think, I'm going to start now. My best years are ahead of me. That's the way successful people think.
I don't know if I can do this job. I mean, this is really out of my league. I'm not a genius, you know.
I think the most insidious of all the excuse diseases is intelligence excuse-itis. It's the feeling that I'm not quite smart enough, or other people know something I don't. Unlike the other maladies we've discussed, people tend to suffer this one in silence. Nobody wants to talk about how dumb they feel, but they feel it deep down inside, and it blocks their road to success. Most of us, you see, make two basic errors with respect to intelligence. One, we vastly underestimate our own brain power, and two, we vastly overestimate the intelligence of other people. Because of these two mistakes, we sell ourselves short, and we fail to take advantage of many opportunities. Some years ago, Dr. Edward Teller, the famous physicist who's called the father of the atomic bomb, was asked what a young person needed to know to become a successful scientist. Teller said, and I quote, "A child does not need a lightning-fast mind to be a scientist, nor does he need a miraculous memory, nor is it necessary that he gets very high grades in school. The only point that counts is that the child have a high degree of interest in science. Interest and enthusiasm are the critical factors, not intelligence." Another way of putting it is simply to say, it's not how much intelligence you have that counts, it's how you use the intelligence you have. Let me give you another example. I was at a college class reunion a while back, and I met a fellow I hadn't seen for about 25 years. His name was Chuck. He was one of the brightest people I've ever met, and he graduated with honors. The last time I talked to him, he had a goal of someday owning his own business. So when I saw him at the reunion, I asked him, "How's your business going?"
Well, David, to tell you the truth, I never really went into business for myself. You know what I did? I used my college education to become an expert in why my business ideas wouldn't work out. Yeah, I learned all the pitfalls of businesses, all the reasons why you might fail. And, you have to be sure you have plenty of capital, the business cycle is right, you have to make sure there's enough demand for your product, the local industry is stabilized, there's 1,001 things to check out. So here I am today, I'm still auditing freight shipments and just plodding along, working for somebody else, and it's not really doing me a lot of good. And I see friends of mine from high school who went out right after high school, and they're doing successful business straight from high school. There's got to be a reason for that.
Do you see Chuck's dilemma? The thinking that guided his intelligence was far more significant than the amount of intelligence he has. If you study the world around you, you'll find a lot of highly successful people with very average IQs, and you'll also find a lot of failures who are brilliant. The difference is one of attitude. What are these people using their brain power for? to defeat themselves or to find ways to succeed. There's one more point I want to make before we summarize the cures for this disease of intelligence excuse-itis. Another common mistake that people make with regard to intelligence is to equate piles of facts with useful brain power. But it's far more important to use those brain cells for thinking and analyzing than it is for memorizing. Someone once asked Albert Einstein, "How many feet are there in a mile?" Einstein replied, "I don't know. Why should I fill my head with facts that I can find in 2 minutes in any reference book?" Einstein, as usual, was right. You can always find facts. You can't always find good, positive thinking. That you've got to learn for yourself. So here's a cure for intelligence excuse-itis.
First, never underestimate your own intelligence, and never overestimate the intelligence of others. Don't sell yourself short. Concentrate on your assets. Discover your superior talents. Remember, it's not the amount of intelligence you have that counts. It's how you use what you've got. Learn to effectively manage your brains instead of worrying about your IQ. Secondly, constantly remind yourself, my attitudes are more important than my intelligence. At work and at home, practice positive attitudes. See the reasons why you can do it, not the reasons why you can't. Put your intelligence to creative, positive use. Find ways to win, not ways to lose. Finally, remember that the ability to think is much more valuable than the ability to memorize facts. Use your mind to create and develop ideas, to seek solutions, to find new and better ways of doing things.
So far, we've talked about belief as a...
So, how powerful is that? I don't know about you guys, but each of the 3 times that I've heard that particular chapter in The Magic of Thinking Big, I have been reminded of one of those things that I have been guilty of at some time in my career. And so it's, for me, so important to kind of help inoculate everybody on these things. So if you have any form of excuse-itis, I want to just encourage you to take to heart some of the things that he said, because this is our time, guys. Never again will we have a chance to be a founding member of the greatest company in the whole world. And I tell you, I don't know about you, I've been out talking to people, I've been practicing that wonderful saying, listen, you know, if I could show you a way to take a $500 to $1,000 investment and turn that into a $500 to $1,000 a month recurring income or more, would you be open to taking a look? Would you be open? Hey, it may or may not be for you, and that's okay. But I've got something, and you have to take a look at this. This is our time, you guys. This is it. Never again will we have this chance, and I don't know about you, I never, ever, ever want to look back with the pain of regret. But guess what? Back when I got started, it was hard. It was a lot harder than it is today. One product. If you didn't want my product, I didn't have something else to give you. But now we have 15 world-class products backed by 18 exclusive patented ingredients, and we have an infrastructure that's already proven here. Guys, here's the deal. Right now, all the gold, it's on the top of the grass. It's just sitting there, ready for us to get it. But you know what? 5 years from now, this is still going to be an awesome opportunity, but it's going to look more like a job, right? Because people will have shovels and they'll be having to dig a little bit more for the gold. And right now, all the gold that's on the top of the grass, that all we have to do is open our mouth, give somebody an opportunity to take a look at the most powerful form of creating an income and changing their life. It's right there. And all the gold we're grabbing from the top of the grass right now is going in the back of our trucks. But 5 years from now, people will still have that gold. They'll dig. It'll be a little bit more difficult. They'll have to dig a little bit harder to get that gold. And guess what? The difference is the gold will be going in the backs of our trucks. You know what? I love this business. We have the best products that change people's lives. But I love having an opportunity that I can go out and use to change the lives of so many people. Every city I go, every place I am, people are looking for something. Whether we help them look better and have more confidence, we help them feel better, we help them think better. Guys, we've got this. We've got it. And all you have to do is open your mouth. So I just want to tell you guys that I am really excited for the future here. I am running. I am talking to so many people personally. I'm here to support every single one of you guys. I hope that you take this to heart. Let's just squelch excuse-itis and go out there and help a lot of people look better, feel better, and live better. So make it a great day. Don't forget about the CUC call this afternoon, and we'll see you next week on Profit in Your PJs. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Anna. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Anna. Have a great day.
Thanks, Anna, girl.
Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Bye, guys.